Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 1067. Happy Friday. It's Friday. It's card show weekend. I am sans creamer this morning. I ran out yesterday and I just knew when I poured that last drop of creamer, like, you know what? I'm not going to go to the store today and get more creamer. I'm probably going to have to drink my coffee without cream tomorrow. And here we are. I predicted the future. And I'm predicting the future Sunday because I'm probably not going to go to the store today. Today is going to be a massive shipping / Madison Card Show prep. This is the most prep. I think this is the most preparation I've had to do for a Madison Card Show, and I think it's just because I went out and bought tables, so there's additional tables. So I have more dealers. I have a lot of first-time dealers, so it's just a lot of that, just a lot of stuff. Just a lot of the stuff that, well, how hard can it be to set up a card show? It's not hard. Just takes it's time consuming. So I was doing this week. Basically Wednesday I started doing some of that stuff, and then yesterday, and I'm also a dealer at the show. So last night I was trying to put together some last minute quarter boxes. I went back, and kind of the fun thing is when I throw this quarter box has been, going to card shows for a while. I'm going to retire it, and I'll put it back in the card room. And sometimes I'll cherry pick them. Sometimes I'll just put them back. So last night I was going through. It's like, oh, this is good inventory. This is good eBay inventory. So put some back in a quarter box and maybe new to somebody. So did a little bit of that last night. What was that? Oh, creamer. So I'm probably not going to go to the store today because I'm going to be running to the Sheraton, doing final prep for tomorrow's Madison Card Show. So I probably won't make a store run, which tomorrow I won't have coffee at home. I'll have McDonald's coffee. You're like, well, what happened to Dunkin'? Dunkin's not open. Dunkin's not open early enough. They don't start. I don't think they start serving food. At least the location that I go to, maybe they were just feeding me a line of bullshit that morning. They're like, we don't start cooking until 5:30. And I'm like, oh, okay. So lately I've been going, and tomorrow I'll be there super early as well, hauling tables in. So so basically what I do on Friday for Madison Card Show Day, I will print off all the name tags to put on tables. My map is I do the map earlier in the week, usually Wednesday, Thursday, because usually the days leading up, there's a lot of, oh, I can't make it. Do you have any? Oh yeah. Hey, so I'm shifting people around. So the map is usually finished Wednesday. Well, finished. It's in progress Wednesday, Thursday. So Friday, I've got it, and usually I'll go in the early afternoon to the Sheraton, make sure everything's set up the way it needs to be. Last couple months, it's been perfect, so I haven't had to move anything around. Put the name tags on the table. That's ideal. Sometimes it's not set up the way I need it to be, and so I'll be moving tables around, and it takes me a little longer. And then I'll also bring in, once I get that set up, I'll go swing my car up to the front, and I'll haul in my bargain boxes, and I put my bargain boxes. I don't set them up, but I just have them in the room, and so that's what I'll do. I've got new signage, so I haven't decided if I'm going to bring in the new signage. They took a couple of my stands a year ago, several months ago, and I'm like, hey, you took my stands. And they're, oh, we can't find them. It's like, well, you owe me some stands. So which reminds me, I've got to get 2 additional signs printed off. So it's like, as we go into a new year, I've got all this new signage and all that. So I'm juggling that as well. So that's Madison Card Show day. And then tomorrow comes early, and hopefully I see you at my table early. I actually had somebody reach out. I think they're driving in from Indiana, maybe, and they're staying at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolen Drive tonight. Said, how early will your boxes be? I'm like, they'll be ready to dig through at 7 a.m. And usually there's some even earlier birds than that, so you have to fight them off. So maybe 6:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30. No, I won't be set up by that time. Well, maybe by 6:30, but 7 o'clock is a good time to come start digging through my bargain boxes. What else is going on? Biscuit woke up a couple times in the middle of the night. My fear was, with this new house, it's not very Biscuit friendly for outdoor potties. What I mean by that is we have more, doors that lead to the outdoors, but like down here, and I'm thinking ahead, and I was thinking like in the summer, I'm like, man, what happens when it snows? Because ideally my wife wants to take Biscuit out through the screened porch. There's some steps and down, and that actually might end up being the best way to do it. So we have, like, if we go out on our deck, a lot of stairs, a lot of deck to get to the stairs. So if there's a bunch of snow clearing. So that's out. Down here, there's a patio and then steps that lead into the backyard. Not ideal when there's snow. I just talked about the screen porch door, and then the front door, which is where she's been going potty. But like when there's no snow on the ground, she just runs little prances out onto the driveway into the front yard. She likes to go to the sidewalk and sniff other dogs' urine. Dogs love that. Who pissed on my tree? Now I gotta piss on your tree. So what we learned yesterday, since it snowed, Biscuit won't prance in the snow. So there is the problem is up near the front door. It's like rock, and there is a couple like stones. I just gotta find them. So this morning, Biscuit's up, and my wife I get up, and she's like, "Well, why didn't you shovel here?" I'm like, "'Cause it's rock." That's why. It's rock. So I did shovel like where the rock ends, the driveway. I shoveled a spot there, and she has used it. Biscuit did use it this morning to poop. She had to poop because there was no spot to poop. She didn't want to poop in the spot that I made for her to poop on. So, because she woke up at like 4 this morning, and I just put her back in bed. She chilled, and then at 6:15, I slept. My alarm was set for 5:30. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be up early tomorrow morning. I'm going to wake up in a decent time today. And I heard like scratching, and I like reach out. Where's she at? My wife wakes up. She goes, I think she has to go out. And I'm like, oh. Like I got to put clothes on. Because I knew I would have to go chase her. Like, no, don't go there. Go here. That's what happened. So I had to come downstairs, put some clothes on, go upstairs, take the dog out. So that's going to be a conundrum this winter. It's like, well, maybe I can find the little stepping stones that lead into the front yard to where she can just prance out that way. But if there's like a foot of snow or 6 inches of snow, like, I don't think so. So I think we may have to start. I might have to start. I do have a shovel in the porch. So I think that's probably going to be the optimal taking Biscuit potty routine. So that was my morning. What else is going on? So yeah, yesterday was I did do some listing. I did some not quite junk wax era, little before the junk wax era, talking what years? 82, 83, 84. I think there were some 86s, but not like tops. They were O-Pee-Chee. I listed a bunch of O-Pee-Chee, 84 and 86 O-Pee-Chee. I think there's some 86 Leaf, not Donruss, but Leaf. So some of that stuff and Star, like there weren't any commons. They're all superstars. So that's in my eBay store. Thank you, Card Dealer Pro 2.0. Sign up at carddealerpro.com. Use promo code Cubs, and you'll receive 500 free scans upon your paid subscription. So there you go. It's Friday. It's the free for all. We're going to play Name That Player. It's not going to be a completely, and I think I alluded to it yesterday, where maybe we'll do some baseball, we'll do some celebrities, we'll do some baseball, we'll just sprinkle in a little bit of everything, and that's what we're going to do, because I wanted to do wrestling. I couldn't find any wrestling cards. I think they're in a box, ready for the Madison Card Show tomorrow. So we're going to do some of the Hollywood. There's a few Hollywood cards that we did last week. There's a token hockey card in here. There's 3 or 4 baseball, a couple football, a couple basketball. So a little bit of everything. Name That Player. We've got a fresh scoreboard that we started last week as we did the celebrity Hollywood cards from the early 90s. So there's a couple fun ones in here. I've got to mix up the order though. A couple fun ones today. So we'll play Name That Player in about an hour. That's how we roll. So this is kind of a shitty week for sports, right? This is a shitty week for sports. Because it's like I'm kind of in the college basketball. Like I just need something, right? I just need something to watch. And there's nothing. Was there an NFL? There was probably an NFL game last night, Thursday night, whatever. I didn't watch. See, I don't want to watch NFL. I want to watch college. I want to watch college, but I want to watch like the Badgers or the Leathernecks. Or if there's a really good game on. But my Leathernecks don't play until Sunday. They have like an afternoon game on Sunday against SIU Edwardsville. That's on Sunday. I don't even know when I don't think the Badgers play tonight. I was looking at the schedule. It's like, damn, there's just no sports on this week. Shitty sports week. So once we get through the new year, and then it's January, it's like, and then I guess January I'm focused on NFL playoffs. Even though my team won't be in it, still kind of fun to watch the playoffs. I guess you got college football. Like I won't probably watch any of the college football championships whenever they air. And then February is when I start getting back into, I take like half of December and most of January off from like paying close attention to college basketball. And then when the conference tournaments start firing, then it's like, ooh, then I'm like diehard. Even, I'll be watching Summit League and all those other conferences. So let's go to the chat. Where are we at? Peter's in the house. What's going on? Last Friday of the year. Can you believe that? Can you believe it's the last Friday of the year? No Hobby Evolution tomorrow. Back on Sunday morning. And we'll review the Madison Card Show. And Sunday's the 31st. I'm just not in the mood for year reviews or goals this year, which is weird because I need topics. This week, it's like, what am I going to talk about today? It's like, well, maybe I should have thought about that. And we'll do a year in review. And I was watching a video, I think yesterday, and talking about like, what was the best, or maybe I saw it on Twitter, like, what was your best purchase of 2023? And it's like, I don't know. Like, really, honestly, nothing pops out. What was your best purchase? What was your worst purchase? Both inventory-wise, so business-wise, and my collection-wise for the Cubs. Like, I don't know. And it's like, I'm like, oh, wait, that was last year. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I made a lot of good purchases. I probably made some bad ones, too. You just try to forget about those. But it's like, what was your best purchase? And it's like, well, what about the Goodwill palette? It's like, but I probably bought like 5 of them. Which one was the best? This one, this most recent one was a good one. I bought some good in bulk, but like nothing sticks out. Like, and I thought, oh, the Acuna super short print that I got for $25 and sold for $250, American US dollars. Oh shit, that was last year. That was at the old Rockford show when it was in the church gymnasium. And their last show, I think, was last December. So they didn't have any in 2023. So it's like, what was my best purchase? I don't think I had one. I had a lot of good ones. None stick out. Same with Cubs. Like, I guess I can look at, these are like my favorite cards. None stick out though. I mean, is it the old judge? Marty Sullivan, old judge, that like walked up to me at the Madison Card Show, I think last month. And somebody, it walked up to another table and they're like, oh, and they told me, Michael Renicky. And then he's like, if I see him, I'll bring him to you. Okay, cool. And so he came up and he's like, I'd sell it for $175. I'm like, damn, yeah. You can't find an old judge on eBay for that. So I'm like, sold. But there's probably some recency bias. Like if that transaction would have happened in February, I'd be like, none of those really look familiar. So yeah, I don't know. There were some like good Cubs lots that I bought. And again, probably some recency bias because there was one fairly recent, like a month ago, not even a month ago. But again, I think that's just recency bias. So yeah, I don't know what it is. The funny thing is they have the saying, there's a reason the windshield's bigger than the rear view mirror. Don't look back. I love to look back. I just don't want to dwell on it. But I'm like nostalgic. I mean, how often do I get a Beckett magazine and like, oh, hey, remember this? Oh, Nintendo. And like, I'm super nostalgic. I'm always looking in the rear view mirror. But when it comes to like my best purchases, my worst purchases, I'm like, I'm not looking back. I'm just moving forward. What's my next best? Hopefully my not next worst. And I'm not like, I talked yesterday about goals. Like, I have my business goals that I don't set them for like, okay, here's my 2024 goal. I have like short-term, long-term goals. Like short-term, and the short-term are kind of, it might be June. If I start hitting them on a regular basis, then you adjust. Long-term goals, obviously, you're not going to adjust those on the fly. Long-term. So for business-wise, and then for personal-wise, it's like, well, I'm going to get my millionth Cub card, and that's it. I need to organize, but I don't want to hold myself, like I mentioned yesterday, I don't want to hold myself to these goals because then it becomes work for my personal collection. And I don't want that. Kyle, what's going on? Good morning. Donald, good morning. He says, hit the like button. I agree. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. Dave Richards in the house. What's happening? Good morning. Free for All Friday. Good morning, Philly Joe. Neil's in the house. Good morning. Mikey's here, but he's tired. Super tired, in fact. Well, get some sleep. Go back to bed and watch the replay. Orlando, what's up? Good morning. Cooter's in the house. What's happening, Cooter? Jody is here. Good morning. Max is in the house. What's up? He says, is there any players that you would like to see the Chicago Cubs go after? Someone, right? I don't know. It's still early. It's December 29th. The Cubs will make some moves. I really wanted Ohtani. I think everybody wanted Ohtani. Ohtani just didn't want us. As far as who I want the Cubs to go after, I would be happy with Matt Chapman and Rhys Hoskins, a starting pitcher, whether it's through trade or free agency, like a top tier, not just some rando fifth starter, like a 1 or a 2 starter, and then a lefty reliever, like a seasoned one, not just some guy off the scrap heap, but a seasoned reliever. That's all. Bellinger, if the money works, Cody Bellinger. But again, I just don't trust Cody Bellinger's play. I don't know what you're going to get from Cody Bellinger in 2024. Is he going to run it back like 2023, or is he going to run it back like 2022 and suck? So that's my fear with Cody Bellinger. So I'd be happy with Matt Chapman over at third base, Rhys Hoskins at first, a starting pitcher, and some depth in the bullpen. And we've got prospects. Somebody was in here yesterday mentioned we've got prospects to trade. We've got trade chips. So if that has to happen through a trade, so be it. I'm not married to any of our prospects. I love prospects and I love minor league baseball and all that, but I'm a fan of the Chicago Cubs. And I want the Chicago Cubs to be the best team. I don't care. I mean, do I want the South Bend Cubs and the Myrtle Beach Pelicans and the Iowa Cubs to do well? Absolutely. But I don't want it to come at the expense of the Chicago Cubs. Victor's in the house. Good morning. Christian is here. Good morning. Live for the first time this week. Pumped for the Lions game on Saturday. That's what I like about this time of year. We get football. We get NFL games all over the place. I love a good Saturday football game because there's not much going on Saturdays in December because college football's done. So we get the Lions on Saturday. What time is the Lions game on Saturday? Because we'll be at the Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive. Let's get that thing going. There we go. Lions Saturday, NFL. NFL. Lions and Cowboys. Oh, it's a night game. Okay. And we got the Bears and Falcons at noon on Sunday. I love those noon games as long as I can watch it on the telly. Who else is playing? Packers don't play at noon on Sunday, so that helps. Kyle says, 2 of my best buys were NASCAR bulk from you. Yes, fueled my TTM hobby. Awesome. Just George is here. What's going on? He says they should go after Kenny Mother Effin' Powers. Hell yeah. Oh, speaking of the Cubs, a friend of mine reached out to me yesterday. He's like, hey, I got a baseball card question. Like, okay, what's going on? He's like, give me a call. So I called him last night. You know how I love talking on the phone. And he's like, so a buddy of mine, his dad pitched for the Cubs in the early 60s. And I'm like, no shit. Pitcher by the name of Don Elston, Everyday Elston. I'm like, well, that's freaking cool. And he's like, so he's got some of his dad's stuff, and he's just got some Cubs stuff that he's looking to sell. And I'm like, ooh, what do you got? And so he says, he's like, well, he's got a couple cards. I'm like, okay. And don't mind me, I'm just over here sorting. He's got a couple cards and they're signed. I'm like, okay. He's like, they're team cards signed. I'm like, okay. He's like, they're from the early 60s. And I'm like, okay. Now I'm thinking, like in my mind, I'm like, I bet it's like the replica signatures. What do they call that? Whatever those are. I'm like, that's going through my mind what he has signed. He's like, I've got pictures. I'll send you pictures. I'm like, okay, perfect. Okay. That's for name that player. So I look and it's 1961. And it's kind of hard to, because obviously a card with a bunch of signatures, kind of hard to see. And I can't tell who that is on the back. All right. So it's 60. So it's 1961. Oh, there is a signature on the back. George Altman. So there's 61 and then 60. So it's the 61 Topps team card and the 65 Topps team card. So it shows the 60 and 64, and I'm like, oh man, I don't see Ernie Banks. I don't see an Ernie Banks signature. That'd be pretty cool. I don't see a Santo on the 65 tops. So, and that's like 61. It's I don't know if Billy Williams was on the 60 in the 60 team picture. I don't think so. Santo, I don't think was on there. And another one that would have been a really rare autograph, Ken Hubbs, who was the National League Rookie of the Year, tragically passed away in a plane crash. Also, the 65 could have Lou Brock because he was on the 64 team. But I don't see any of those. So the 61 I see, the ones I can make out, Bob Will, Moose Morin, Jerry Kindle, Don Cardwell, Seth Moorhead, Bob Anderson. I can't read who that is. Bert, somebody, Larry Kraft. There's a couple that it's kind of hard to see. They're really small. Sammy Taylor. I can't read that one. Joe Schaffernoth, the original Frank Thomas, Al Heist. There's a couple in ink in here that I can't read. So that's on the 61, and then Altman's on the back. The 65 tops has Ernie Broglio, Leo Burke, Sterling Slaughter. I can't read that one. Dick Bertel. Is that Vic Rosnowski? I can't tell. Don Elston. Billy Heft, I think. Bob Buell, Lindy McDaniel. And I think that's it. And then on the back, I think Al Heist is on the back, maybe. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Oh, there's the decanter he's got. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that was kind of fun. Neil says Ashburn too early, Brock. So no, I don't think I forgot about Ashburn being on 60. Because some of the signatures I just can't make out. You'd almost have to see it in person. Yeah, there's a couple in the middle, but it doesn't look like any of the names you'd be looking for. Like, and I think on that 60, Hubbs, Santo, and Williams would not have been on it, I don't think. Oh, that's, I think, Mo Thacker over there. Yeah. So, all right. Where are we at? Brian Dean, what's going on? It's been a while. How have you been, man? We haven't seen you in the chat in a long time. Good morning to Brian Dean. Mikey works 9 to 1. That's a bummer. So you can't go back to bed because it's 8:30 over there. Mark says, good morning. Rooting for the Lions going forward, knowing it's a pipe dream. Would love to see a Lions-Browns Super. That would be fun. It'd probably be terrible for television. But hey, for us that love the underdog, I would be a big fan of that Super Bowl. I'm definitely rooting for the Lions. Even though I'm a fan of another team in the NFC North within the division, I still root for the Lions. I still root for the Vikings. I don't root for the Packers though. So I would root for the Lions. Absolutely. 100%. Dan's here. What's going on, Dan? Jordan says, Mark, anything is possible. Right. Neil, Ashburn, early Lou Brock. Mark says, Jordan, I've never seen a more wide open NFL in decades. All the teams we thought were locks have shown they are very beatable. We were talking at the very beginning of the NFL season, and what were some of the teams? The teams that I said, I think I looked at power ratings, and I'm like, and I think the 49ers and Chiefs were two teams that I'm like, these teams I think could fail. And the Chiefs are not playing well. 49ers look pretty good, right? I think they look good. But on the flip side, I also said the Bears were going to go 11-6 and win a playoff game. Playoffs? The Bears are probably going to have 11-6 in their record, but it's going to be On the other, it's going to be reversed. It's going to be 6-11, not 11-6. So there are 6. I think there's 6-9. I mean, at this point, it's like, just lose those last 2 games. Play competitive, lose, improve your draft stock. That's where that's where I've been since like week 3. Like, okay, this season's gone. Let's just tank and get the number 1 and number 2 overall pick. Number 2 is probably out of the question. Probably looking at, let's see, what are the standings? Because it looks like the top 3 are kind of a lock with 2 games remaining standings. The Patriots are 4-11. The Commanders are 4-11. The Panthers are 2-13, and the Cardinals are 3-12. The Bears have 6 wins. So let's see. Giants have 5. So right now the Bears have the 8th pick. And I don't know how much further they can go up. Maybe to the 5th. I think the 5th might be the highest they can pull. But they also have the number 1 pick. They get, well, if Carolina keeps losing, they'll get their pick, which hopefully will be the number 1 pick. Hopefully what happened last year doesn't happen this year to the Panthers, where the Texans were like cruising. They had the number 1 pick the entire season until the last day, and they win. The Bears lose, and they get the number 1 pick. Hopefully the Panthers keep losing and secure the number 1 pick so the Bears can have it. James says post office prices going up in a month. Yeah, it's our annual January increase. So usually what is that? It's like the 3rd Sunday of January that rates usually go up. It's always a Sunday. So if you're look it up, go to USPS.gov and check out when those prices go up, and just be aware that those take effect on Sunday. So sometimes you'll go in like, oh, how come the prices are changed? It's like, oh, I got you. It's a Sunday. So I always try to save those 75 cents. Actually, it ends up being quite a bit, depending on what if the stamp prices are going up, which I think last increase, it was delayed a couple days within eBay. But in the past, it's been like immediate. Like, okay, they say it's January 22nd. Boom, it's January 22nd on eBay also. But I think the last increase, I think it was delayed on eBay. But it adds up. You have 100 things, and that adds up to a few dollars. Where are we at? Troy's in the house. Good morning, Troy. Jody says, you really are a celebrity now. I can't get on Facebook without you starring in your own Car Dealer Pro commercial. I love it. Thank you, Car Dealer Pro, for pumping the shit out of that Facebook ad. Brian's got some back issues. That sucks. Have you ever heard of the Shakti mat, man? That has become part of my new routine. Thank you to Carlo Does Vintage for the suggestion. Got it for my wife got it for Christmas for me. And I've been using it the last few nights. I use it right before bed. So I've got like this new routine. I'll lay on it for about 20 minutes. And it hurts every damn time, man. It hurts like hell because it's fucking spikes going into your back. And then all of a sudden, after like 5 minutes, it's like, oh, this is kind of getting comfortable. And then like at the 10-minute mark, it's like, you don't want to get up. It's like, my wife's like, you've been on it for 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, but it feels so good. I'm going to go for 5 more. And it is pretty relaxing. The Shakti mat. BPL Sports Cards. What's going on? Good morning. TGIF. East Coast Tom is here, and he says, are the Pistons the new Washington Generals? Are they bad? See, I don't follow the NBA. I could not tell you who the best teams in the NBA are. Like, before I look, this is how much I know about the NBA. I'm going to say the Bucks are probably good. Who else? Mavericks, maybe. They got Luka. The Lakers, they're always good. Lakers, Celtics. I'm going to say Lakers, Celtics, Bucks, and Mavericks are the 4 best teams in the NBA. Let's see how close I am. I bet I'm way off. I know the Bulls suck, right? I think standings in the NBA. Hey, Boston is good. Oh, hey. The Bucks and Celtics are 1-2 in the East. Celtics 24-6. Bucks are 23-8. All right. West Coast, I was way off. Let's see. Lakers are in 8th place and the Mavericks are in 6th place. Timberwolves? The Timberwolves have the best record in the West. Never would have. Never. If you gave me start guessing, the Timberwolves would have been like, if I'm just pulling names like, okay, these are the best teams, I bet the Timberwolves would be like 25 on my list. And the Nuggets won the championship last year, right? I think. The Nuggets have the second best record in the West. So who do you say the Pistons? Holy shit. The Pistons are 2-29? How is that possible? The Spurs with Victor Wembanyama have only 5 wins. Jesus. 2 wins in 31 games. Yes, they are the Washington Generals. How does that happen? Who is playing on the Pistons? I bet if I look at the Pistons roster, I'll be like, oh, I remember those guys from college. Apparently, they're just not good NBA players. Detroit Pistons roster. Let's see. Marvin Bagley, Duke. Bojan Bogdanovic. Alec Burks. Malcolm Cazalan. I've never heard of him. Killian Hayes. I only know him from rookie cards in the new junk wax era. Jaden Ivey of Purdue, remember him. Kevin Knox from Kentucky, I remember him. Isaiah Livers from Michigan. Monty Morris from Iowa State, I don't remember him. Jared Rhoden from Seton Hall, don't remember him. Marcus Sasser, I remember that name. Houston Cougar. Isaiah Stewart, I remember him. Asar Thompson, I know him. He's a rookie. James Wiseman, I remember him. Drafted by the Warriors. Stanley Umudi from Arkansas. Oh, and I missed Cade Cunningham and Joe Harris and Jalen Duren. I thought Cade Cunningham was supposed to be really good. Maybe he is, but the rest of the team is just pitiful. Jordan says, Commanders 49ers this weekend. We are not winning so well. We'll be 4-12 after this weekend. Come on. We need an upset. We need a Washington upset over the 49ers. Flawed Thinker, what's happening? Good morning. Dan says Carolina has the tiebreaker with Arizona, so a tie record will get the Bears the number 1. Ooh, I did not know that. So, well, hopefully there's 2 games remaining. So hopefully the Panthers don't win win 2 games. 2 games remaining, and I think they're a game ahead. So there's still a chance to blow it. But holding that tiebreaker is huge. With a 1-game differential. Hall of Fame card collector says I have to work 4 hours today, 9-1, so can't go back to bed. Well, you get an afternoon nap. Neil, Celtics, baby. Red Light says hit that like button. Thank you, sir. Ethan's in the house. Mavs got to get Kyrie back. Okay, so Kyrie Irving must be out. Brian says my surgeon wants to remove a disc, means a second surgery. Oh, shit, man. I'm sorry to hear that. BPL says T-Wolves are looking like the mid-90s team they had with KG and Stephon Marbury. Yeah, those were fun teams. Ethan says Pistons, Cade Cunningham has no stock anymore. Well, that sucks. So I shouldn't be pulling Cade Cunningham rookies and setting those aside. I should just be putting those in quarter boxes. Because I think I did set those. When I'm going through, like, when I come across new basketball, like in the last Goodwill palette, I'll pull, I pull LeBron. I sell those separately. I was pulling some other players that I make player lots of. And I was pulling Cade Cunningham. I'm like, he was the number 1 overall pick. His rookie cards are probably worth something. Apparently not. They're not worth shit. Might as well put him with the Killian Hayes rookies I have and the James Wiseman rookies I have. Neil says Mark Cuban sells the Mavericks, paid $285 million, sells for $3.5 billion. That's the dream, man. How about that? Ethan says he'll probably be traded. So Jordan says Cade has been playing good. Okay, so maybe he is playing his way into a trade. All right. So that's all I had for today. I didn't really have anything today. So let's play Name That Player. We've got a new scoreboard started. Max won our last round. I've got his trophy. I've got a list of things to bring to the Madison Card Show tomorrow. Oh, I got to get Cody's ball. Cards for Mike. Trophy for Max. Poster. Oh, the poster. I got to find the poster. Mascot cards. So my to-do list. All right. So let's play Name That Player. Let's show the new scores. We did celebrities last week. Harlan and Huddle Card and Card Hobbyist knew their celebrities. We got more celebrities today. Flipping Sports Guy, Rich, Mark, and Max all scored 1 point last week as well. Look at those live viewership drop. Like, oh, I'm out. Name That Player. I'm done. All right. So we're going to do Name That Player, a mix today. I wanted to do like a mix of like not just celebrities, but also like wrestling and non-sport stuff. But we're going to mix it up because I couldn't find any of the others. So we're going to do some of the Hollywood cards that we did last week. I've got one hockey card, a couple basketball, a couple baseball, a couple football. So let's start playing. Let's start it off. So Name That Player. Oh, I got to get my stream going on my phone just in case. It's kind of nice to have a shorter show today. Hope to see you at the Madison Card Show tomorrow. Okay, so here we go. All right. YouTube chat is up. All right, here we go. First up, celebrity. First up is a celebrity. Nope, it's not Mary Tyler Moore. Somebody guessed Mary Tyler Moore yesterday. Try to get their answer in early. Who is this guy? Ethan is battling title links, I assume, on Card Dealer Pro. Oh, where's my chat? Hefner is correct. Flawed Thinker is the first. Flawed Thinker. Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner. Flawed Thinker. Where are you at? There you go. All right. So Flawed Thinker, did you get a point last week? No. So that's your first point of the new round. Flawed Thinker is on the board. All right. Next up. Oh, hockey. But usually when it's goalies, it's a little easier to tell or guess because you know it's a goalie. Which is why I selected a goalie as the only hockey card today. I knew Philly Joe would get this one. Ron Hextall. Philly Joe. For the Philly Flyer, Ron Hextall. All right, where'd I put Hugh? There you go. Philly Joe's on the board. Philly Joe, that's your first point for the new round. Ron Hextall. All right. Now we're going to, oh shit. This is just, I did not plan it this way. But another Philly. This one, literally a Philly. Not going to give any hints just yet. It is not Jose Abreu. It is not Ryan Howard. This guy is on the Hall of Fame ballot. I think he's got some votes so far. A Philly that's currently on the Hall of Fame ballot. Not Michael Franco. Nor is it Wander Franco. It is, as Tom Gibson types it out, Chase Utley. Tom Gibson on the board. Tom Gibson on the board with Chase Utley. So, Tom, oh, that's your first point this round. So, Tom Gibson, we've got first-time points this round across the board. Oh, I hit the caps lock. Okay, there we go. Tom Gibson. All right. Next up, we go. Oh, we're going back to Hollywood. All right. This is super easy. Super easy. This is just a fastest fingers. You all know who this is. You got to have the fastest fingers. I'll take MJ. Jordan Brown, you got it. I assume those who typed him in MJ didn't mean Michael Jordan. So I'll was Michael Jackson the original MJ? Probably. He was popular before Michael Jordan. Jordan Brown on the board for the first time. All right. Now we go to bat. Okay, this one gets a little trickier. This one gets a little trickier. Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, this player was in the NCAA tournament. This player was in the NCAA tournament. I don't see any correct guesses yet. He was in the NCAA tournament when I first started watching the games in the early 90s. The Florida State Seminoles. You got, I see a couple correct answers. Who was the first? It's Bob Sura. Porter was the first one. Bobby Sura, Florida State Seminole, Cleveland Cavalier. Porter's on the board. And that's your first point. We got first timers across the board. How about it? I like it when we have like a good competition where it's not just one person running the table, right? All right. Oh, we're going back to Hollywood. I had quite a few. This is another easy one. Another easy one. Not quite as easy as MJ, but up there on the easy scale. I'm not going to have to read his bio. Travolta is correct. And I'm pretty sure Dan was the fastest. Dan, all the way in Korea with the fast fingers. John Travolta. You got it. Dan's first point of the game. We're going to... All right, next up. We're going to football. We're going to football. This one might throw you off. Oh, we gotta... This is not Travolta, by the way. This one could throw you off. Maybe not. Hey, Herman's in the house. What's going on, Herman? This is not Ronnie Lott. It's not Lott. Jordan Brown. Jordan and Christian knew it's Rod Woodson. Jordan was first. Rod Woodson. Thought maybe in a 49ers uniform it would throw y'all off. Jordan with his second point. And he moves into up the board behind Harlan, Huddle Card, and the Card Hobbyist. So let's move him over there. All right. We're going to go back to Hollywood on the next one. All right, back to Hollywood. All right. These, George says, I'm seeing all these terrible spellings, abbreviations, and surnames only that I think you need full name is pictured on card only. This one might be tougher for the younger audience. I think if I saw this, I would not know the name. I would be like, oh, he's from that one show, but I can't remember his name. I think I'm just a little too young to remember this guy. I mean, I remember him, but like I wasn't, nobody knows his name. Yes, he did play J.R. Ewing. We'll take Larry J.R. Ewing for Larry Hagman. Philly Joe is the only one that could remember his name. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think J.R. should get the point? He played J.R. Ewing in Dallas. Orlando says Dallas. Jordan says a guy from Dallas. So I'm going to let you guys. John Keating says he was also in I Dream of Jeannie. Dan says give it to Philly Joe. So everybody says Larry Hagman, Philly Joe. Tom Gibson says JR is legit. Collector's Dream says no on JR, I assume. So we're going to give it to Philly Joe. Philly Joe. Philly Joe, where you at? Larry Hagman. There you go. So Philly Joe's on the board. That's point number 2 for Philly Joe. Larry Hagman. Philly Joe, and you move up with Jordan Brown. And all right, next up, we're going to do baseball. I don't know if Bronco's with us this morning. I don't think so. I'll see Bronco tomorrow, though. John says, Philly people always get the tiebreaker. George wants to know where the Little Rock Connie card is. Collector's Dream says, I typed Jackson and you gave MJ the win. So here's, I do want to clarify. So MJ is actually his initials, and he went by MJ. It's kind of like Michael Jordan. I would accept MJ for Michael Jordan. But JR for Larry Hagman's a stretch because that was just one of the characters. I'll leave it up to the chat to vote on that. The chat voted. Give it to Hagman. So that's why I gave MJ the credit. He was known. Now, LH, I would not have accepted LH for Larry Hagman because he's not really known as LH, right? He is known as J.R. Ewing. So we'll let the... Tom Gibson says, Will Shatner is where the line is drawn. You said Will. You did not say Will Shatner. For the record, I would have accepted Will Shatner, but I'm not going to accept Will. I would have accepted Bill Shatner, but not Will. All right, here we go. Baseball. This one's for Bronco. I don't think Bronco's with us this morning. I'll see Bronco tomorrow at the Madison Card Show, John Nolen Drive. This one is for Bronco. Baseball, and I will say, even though you see the thanks to the Gardner's Bakery, the hat is airbrushed. This is a Milwaukee Brewers card. Rob Deere is correct. Wow, everybody knew Rob Deere. Holy moly. Rob Deere first. Dan, Korean Cardboard, was the first. Rob Deere. 33 home runs, 232 batting average, 28 home runs, 238 batting average, 23 home runs, 252 batting average. Actually, his batting averages were better than Kyle Schwarber. Rob Deere, correct. Dan with the point. Where's Dan? So Dan moves up into 2 points. All right. And so you are with Philly Joe and Jordan Brown. There we go. All right. We're going back to this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I don't know if anybody's going to get this one. I had to throw a tough one in here. I'm going to see if anybody knows it before I give any hints. My God, Dan, how did you know? Dan, Korean Cardboard on the game. I'll take Abdony Williams. And he corrected it before anybody else jumped in. Andy Williams, Moon River. Yes. From the soundtrack of Breakfast at Tiffany's. How about that, Dan? You move into a tie in first place. Korean cardboard. Dan, you are now tied with Harlan, Huddle Card Collection, and Card Hobbyist. And there we go. Nelson Muntz' favorite. That's right. Bam! Second encore. All right, we're going to football. I got to get. All right, here we go. This is a little tricky because it's not like a football card. It's a Halloween football card, the Night Raider. There's a lot going on in this. Not knowing who this is, there's a couple things that may throw you off on this card. Rich wants to know, how many cards did I miss? Quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You missed 10 cards, Uncle Rich. O'Donnell is correct. Wow, a lot of people. Wow, Uncle Rich. Were you the first one? He was. He's like, dang, how many did I miss? Bam, Neil O'Donnell. There's a couple, because at first glance, it looks like there's a cheese head on top of his helmet or something. I really don't know what that is. Oh, I think maybe it's like a fire cloud or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's just sitting up there. And then they call him the Night Raider. So you're like, oh, it's got to be a Raider. But he didn't play for the Raiders. He played for the Steelers. But it's Neil O'Donnell. Neil O'Donnell. Uncle Rich back on the board. And you now have 2 points. Move you up over here. All right, Rich. It's called a plume. All right. Now we go back to Hollywood. This is we got 2 more Hollywood cards. I think now that Uncle Rich is with us, I think he's going to be your stiff competition for these Hollywood cards. All right. I remember her from a couple shows. Only one that's on the back of this card. But these cards were also made in 1991. So who's this actress? Where's Uncle Rich? I bet Uncle Rich knows. Let's see. Shepard is correct. Sybil. Joe Trotto. Sybil Shepard. Sybil Shepard. All right. So who got that one? Joe Trotto. Yeah, Moonlighting was the show that I remember Sybil Shepard from with Bruce Willis. Joe Trotto. Max jumps in talking shit. He says, hope everyone enjoyed the free Name That Player this week. Making sales this morning and on my way to buy a collection. Rich says it's really sad how Bruce Willis is doing, speaking of Moonlighting. Yeah, he's in rough shape. Okay, we're down to 3 cards remaining. We got basketball, baseball, and Hollywood. All right, so we go to basketball. This guy's always in the limelight, but not for basketball. It's not Johnson. Let's see. Oh, it's not Dan Marley. It's not KJ. It's not Marion. It's not Johnson. It's not KJ. It's not Mackerel. It's not Booker. It's not Jerry West. It's not Battle. It is Chapman, though. Max jumps in, starts talking shit, and he gets a point. Rex Chapman. He's in the spotlight all the time for his tweets on Twitter. Rex Chapman. Great follow, by the way, on Twitter. Rex Chapman. So, Max, you are on the board. Max was the last winner of Name That Player. Yeah, that was kind of a tough photo because that was later days Rex Chapman, not the early Hornets days. Ted Mann is here. What's going on, Ted? And Max got that while driving. All right, we're down to 2. We're going back to Hollywood. And he's actually a Wisconsin native. I only know this guy from his WrestleMania appearance. That's the only hint I'll give. He was a special guest at WrestleMania in the 80s. I bet Uncle Rich knows. John knows. Liberace. Oh, a lot of you knew. Wow. Oh, there we go. John Keating with the point. Liberace. I think he was like the belt, rang the bell, or I don't know. He did something at WrestleMania. It might have been WrestleMania. I don't know if it was 1 or 2. It was one of the early WrestleManias. All right, we're going to put that 70s card show. All right, we're down to the last card. Porter says we're a bunch of fancy boys. All right, baseball. Kind of a tougher one. John said he toweled off wrestlers in the locker room. It was WrestleMania 1, Dan says. Angels catcher. I'm gonna let a few guesses roll in before I give a hint. So far, nobody's even close. So this guy was also okay. I'm gonna say this guy was a National League Rookie of the Year. How about that? He was a National League Rookie of the Year. Corey Garcia's in the house. What's going on? So it is not Dalton Sandberg. It's not Salty. It's not Pudge. It's not Neto. It's not Nevin. It's not Brian Downing. It's not Todd Green. It's not Stassi. It is Soto. It's Giovanni Soto. He was the National League Rookie of the Year in 2008 with my Chicago Cubs. Giovanni Soto. Tom Gibson, you are on the board. Let's see. Tom, did you get a point last week? Yes. So you're at 2 points. All right. So that was the last card. I like mixing it up and not opening a random pack. All right. There you go. And there's the other one. Okay. So here is our standings through 2 weeks. Dan Korean Cardboard with Harlan, Huddle Card Collection, and the Card Hobbyists are in first place, 3 points apiece. Uncle Rich, Jordan Brown, Tom Gibson, and Philly Joe have 2 points. And with 1 point apiece, the Flipping Sports Guy, Mark Marinello, Max, Flawed Thinker, Porter, Joe Trotto, Max again, and that's 70s Card Show. Did you have 2 points? Did you score a point last week? Did I miss one? Because usually what happens is I have to delete, and maybe I didn't add. Oh, okay. So Max did have one last week. Oh, okay. So I screwed up. So Max has 2 points. That's what I thought. When I saw your name on there twice, I bet you got a point last week. Okay, so Max with 2. And let's move you up the board. And there you go. Now we can delete that one. And there we go. Okay. So Max has 2 points. So there's your updated standings. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you tomorrow. I know I'll see Max tomorrow. I think I'll see Mike Cho tomorrow. Who else is in the chat that I'll see tomorrow? Who else? I'll see Max. I think Mike Cho will be in Madison tomorrow. I thought there was Bob McFarland. He's going to be set up tomorrow with the Madison Card Show. So Bob, Mike will be there. Max will be there. So hope to see you there. Madison Card Show tomorrow, 9 to 3, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive. Early birds are welcome. I'll have my bargain boxes set up as early as 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll review the Madison Card Show Sunday morning. And so obviously no Hobby Evolution tomorrow. And then we'll be back to our regular schedule next week, which will be 2024. Holy shit. Monday is the first day. Monday is New Year's. I'm not doing shit for New Year's. New Year's is like, I don't know. New Year's is not like anything. New Year's sucks. Like I'll be in bed by 10. Like Sunday night is nothing. Like I will do nothing different this Sunday that I do any other Sunday. I'll lay on my Shakti mat at 9. I'll take Biscuit out to potty, and I'll be getting into bed at 9:30. That's how my New Year's Eve is gonna roll. Just not into it. Maybe my wife will, because my wife reads until like 1 a.m. Maybe she'll like, hey, it's midnight. Oh, Happy New Year. I'm going back to bed. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hit up my eBay store. Links in the description, 99centcards.com. Thank you, Ted. Rip Herb Cole. Yeah, Herb Cole passed away this week. Big Milwaukee guy. Ted says, totally unrelated. Good news. We got the Windows version of Trading Card Scanner app working. Just tested the build this morning. Excited to put this out. So for Card Dealer Pro users looking for that app for Windows, and I think there was some confusion because I had some people ask, I don't know if it was on here or somewhere else. Shut up, John. I think some people were confused, like they couldn't use Card Dealer Pro on Windows, but it's just the app that was not working for Windows. So, because I only use PCs, and so, but I don't use the app. I just use the website. So there you go. If you're looking to use the app, sounds like the Windows version of the scanner app is working. Awesome. And it's a totally free app. There you go. Boom. Let's see. George says, I'll celebrate the U.S. New Year a day later at midday. There you go. Cheers to that. All right. Have a great Friday. Have a great Saturday. If I don't see you at the show tomorrow, we'll be back at it Sunday morning, probably around 8:30. Monday morning for me is just another day. So I'll probably go live. Maybe I'll sleep in. I don't know. Depends. Maybe I'll stay up until midnight. Not. But probably go on normal time, normal-ish time. I assume 7 a.m. on Monday, even though it's New Year's. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, visit my eBay store. Have a great weekend. Don't forget the Madison Card Show tomorrow, 9 to 3, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive. See you there.